Hey guys.
Hi.
You're listening to Not As We Planned. So get ready for
Honest,
raw,
unfiltered,
unhinged story
where we share our advice, opinions,
and talk about all the shit that people avoid discussing. We want to point out we are not qualified professionals, although I feel like I am one.
and what we say is the advice we would give to our besties.
Hi guys.
Hi guys, welcome back.
Back to Not As We Planned. Hope everyone's had a good week. I mean, the sun is shining.
The sun is shining. I feel like it is magic. It changes your mood. It just, like for me, I've had a really testing week.
Yeah, you have.
Like, if you don't laugh, you cry.
Yeah.
And I genuinely feel like the weather has helped me handle it better. But also, like, it's just shown me how much work I've done on my headspace in terms of taking that ownership of controlling your, like, where you are and how you look at things. Like, I had a day, when was it? I think it must have been Tuesday night, where bad stuff was like literally happening till like 9:30. You know, when you literally have a day and you're like, really, universe? I'm in my positive era and you are killing me right now. So I put myself to bed and I woke up and was determined not to let it go into another day, and I didn't. So
I'm here for it.
how's your week been?
How's my week? I'm trying to think what I've even done.
Existed.
I literally don't have an update, and do you know what? No news is good news, I guess.
great.
Like, had a bit of a situation with the ex, but maybe I'll delve into that a bit on Patreon.
Yeah, interesting.
What about you?
Do you know what? I'm doing really well. It's interesting when I do question box. People are like, "How are you?" Like, really? I'm like, I'm really good. I'm literally feel like I've come back to life, and
Like a phoenix. Risen
no,
from the
people
ashes.
keep messaging me all this stuff. Like, I keep posting this picture that I took, a really beautiful picture of the moon, and then Venus was next to it. And like, hang on, I screenshotted it
What
because
do you mean Venus was next to it?
you can see the planet. Do you not? You've been missing so much this week. It's like a real big thing. Hang on. I think I screenshotted what someone said to me about it yesterday.
I've been too consumed. with fucking
So
Bob.
I took this really beautiful picture of the moon, and it looks like a bright star, but it's not. It's Venus.
Really?
And she said it symbolizes beauty, fertility, love, and victory. And she said, I think it's really symbolic. It doesn't twinkle. She steadily shines, which I also think is really symbolic. She's like, you're in your Venus era. I'm like, I'm so in my Venus era. Like,
Men are from Mars, women are from Venus.
yeah, honestly, I feel so content. I am really proud of myself because I have, every single day, I feel like I'm taking so much accountability for the way I feel. So last night, I actually had a bad dream about my ex. And like in this dream, like we were together and like we were just talking through things, and I kept seeing like messages on his Instagram flashing up, like from all these different girls he was DMing.
Do you know what? I need to pause you a minute because it's really fucking weird, okay? I remember once I got to a point of my breakup and I was at that acceptance and I had finally done well, I kept having dreams about him. And I remember speaking to Shelley about it. So Shelley is my therapist, who is now Carly's therapist. And she was like, I was waiting for that. It's really profound when you start dreaming about them because it's like your subconscious letting go.
Really? Why
Yeah. No, but it's really weird. It's like you've accepted it like in like real reality life. And then like, because was the dream almost like a bit negative about him?
Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly, like I had that, and then I found it really profound that it was almost like removing him from my subconscious. Yeah, how weird. I had it
Oh
too.
my God. So I haven't been dreaming about him at all, which I've also found weird.
I didn't either. And like all that point when I was good.
And I'll be honest, I haven't cried in weeks. Other than therapy, that's different, and that's not
Yeah, I
about
feel like
him.
you're
That's about that actually was.
And also, I feel like even when you sometimes get a bit tearful with the podcast, again, I think that I think that's different.
I also don't think I don't cry about like not being with him. It's more like realizations and awakenings and things like that. But so this dream, he was like DMing all these girls and like just being like so
Another one.
like, yeah, like just being like not the person I thought. And it was like a few weeks after we'd broken up, and I was like, wow, like I thought I meant more to you than that. And then he was like grabbing his phone back so I couldn't see. And then he went into the bar. It's such a weird dream. He went into the bathroom and I went down his wallet and he still had this thing that I got him. Like, I bought him this thing for his wallet when he travels, and it was like, we're both looking at the same email or something like that, really cheesy. And then I was like, he still loves you, Carly. Like, he still loves you, but he's being an asshole. It was the weirdest thing. Anyway, I woke up this morning and I felt really funny. And I was like, oh my God, like, what if he's messaging loads of girls and stuff? Then what I did, because I woke up, I was like, no, this is not going to be your headspace today, Carly. And this is what I mean, like, taking control of it. I was like, firstly, it's a dream. There's nothing worse than like when you're with someone, they cheat on you in your dream and then that goes into your day. But I was like, no. I opened my journal, our journal, to the page where it was benefits of not being with my ex. And I read through that list I'd written and I was like, oh, yeah, you don't like, he's not your person. But then I also thought, do you know what? If that is what he's doing, like, but I think as well, because of the way I'm handling this breakup, like, wow, like I am going to blow smoke up my own arse. I'm so fucking proud of myself because I certainly didn't handle my marriage breakdown in this way. And I think genuinely it's from like educating myself from us doing this podcast that is making me take the steps I'm taking now. But like I was thought, oh, like if he is messaging someone, like that makes me like really not want him. Like, not that I think it would mean our relationship meant any less, but just like, ooh, you can't be on your own. You can't do the work.
That's how you do your healing. This is how.
Yeah,
and like I feel like that's probably like the epiphany I ended up having once I found out that my girlfriend really quickly. Because at first it floored me because I'd never been so shocked in my life about anything. But afterwards I was a bit like, wow, like thank you for confirming to me why I'm not with you, because I'm doing it this way and you're doing it the way that we slag out all these men off.
Yeah. And I think that's what I realised, like, if he is doing that, like, lucky escape. Because I think what I've also realised is I think a quality I'm going to find really attractive when I do start thinking about putting myself out there is someone who's like actively doing the work. Like for me, someone who's like into self-development and becoming a really good version of themselves and healing any past trauma on their own accord, not looking to seek validation from other people. Like for me, that is one of the sexiest fucking traits in the world. My boyfriend, like, I just find that really attractive. And like,
so I just having the same values, isn't it? Because that's how you've done it. So you're gonna want to find something that's
100%. And like, you're only gonna find someone like what we said the other week. Like, if you're doing that, like, how can I expect to find someone who's healed if I'm not doing the active work to heal?
Amen.
I've had loads of messages this week about like the no contact. I hit 4 weeks no contact this week.
I'm here for that.
4 weeks, over 30 days of no contact. Did I share last week that I deleted his number? I think so, yeah. I'm feeling really, really good. And I've had people like message me like, how do you go no contact with the father of your kids? Sadly, you can't. Honestly, I feel like my journey healing from my ex-husband would be so different if I could have gone no contact from him. Like, I feel like I would be a completely different person. And I'll be completely honest, like, I'm 2 years in now and I'm still so triggered by the man. Like, I still find it really hard. Another update was it was my 2 year, 2 years since we separated at the weekend. And I felt so proud looking back and seeing how far I'd come. Because I remember that day, I honestly felt like my life was over. I remember thinking like, what the fuck is the point anymore? Like, your family's gone, like, lol, like you're mid-30s, you know, and I did have really dark thoughts when we first broke up. I thought, what is the point? And all this. And I feel really sad for that person that I ever felt that low. Like, that makes me so angry that someone could have made me feel like that. But I'm so proud that I pulled myself out and I didn't even manage to do the work in the way I'm doing it now. Like, imagine if I'd been able to do that then, where I'd be now. But something I wanted to say about the no contact, I was listening to Mel Robbins, my life guru at the moment, and she was talking about the no contact, and she was saying, you have to go no contact for 30 days, okay? You have to go no contact 30 days. And it's like what we said, no watching videos, particularly no voice notes. Apparently there's something about the voice that triggers and awakens something in your nervous system. Their voice is like supercharged in terms of the coding it has and like the associations you have to them. And it like activates old patterns in terms of like your behavior, your routines and stuff. And then, because the whole point of no contact is gaining that space to learn to like live life without them. Like you have to adapt your routine.
Go cold turkey is like, it's like a withdrawal. It's like drugs. It's like drugs. It's literally like an addiction. And I remember
similar period of time.
Yeah, and I remember when I went no contact, I remember talking about it, and I didn't want to like disrespect anyone that obviously has addiction problems because, yeah, I'm not an addict. But I felt like an addict. I felt like I was pining and craving. It was literally like that desperate need to like, I felt addicted to him. And it is the moment you read a message or you go to see if he's viewed your story, like that in theory is breaking no contact to your own healing process, not necessarily them being aware that you've broken contact because you haven't. But I think that's also probably why it took me so long, because even though in my head I was like, we haven't spoken, no contact, I was constantly
you were
like,
I kept seeing on our podcast TikTok, on our podcast Instagram, I could see when you search it. Whereas me, I've like went on like literally day after we broke up and was like block. Oh my God, honestly, you should. I was like, she doesn't know. I could say.
You should see my WhatsApp conversation that I don't have it anymore.
Block.
Yeah, block. But he was doing the same, and it would be that rush of like, he's just viewed this or he's just unblocked me, and like I wonder what he's thinking, and like it was so bad, and like. Yeah, like I just feel like that is the prime example of it shows that like no contact is so much more than verbally.
Oh my God, yeah, it really is.
Because
there were things like, I feel like I have cut every possible way of knowing.
Yeah, you've done full 30-day no contact.
I've done, like I haven't looked at a picture. If I have, it's been by mistake as I'm searching for something, and I've deleted quite a few as I've gone. I refuse to listen to his voice. I could not tell you what his voice sounds like anymore. You've got to like unlearn what life looked with that person. And I think because I had the long distance, I've been able to unlearn it quicker because he wasn't in my life every single day. And I'm unlearning like waiting up at night. Like some of the things I was doing is quite a nice thing to unlearn because I'm creating healthier habits. And I don't know, I think what it is showing really is, and this is why, do you remember I said a few weeks ago, I used to have that constant battle with myself because I'd be like, you're the only person that has control whether you're going to get over this. And then I'd be really sad looking at his stuff. And then I'd get angry with myself. I'm like, you're not helping yourself. You're never going to get over it because you're not doing it. And it really does show that it is all about taking that control and accountability for your own healing journey, because I didn't do that. And I think I used to tell myself that it took me so long to get over him. And I think I'm even only noticing this now as I'm saying it. But I think I thought it took me so long because of how much love I had for him. But I think it was more like I was just too weak to let him go, to get to that acceptance, to give myself, like hold myself accountable for doing it. And that's why I was in such a battle with myself, because I knew deep down, it's very much like manifesting. Like you're not going to manifest something unless you're on that positive vibration. And I wouldn't let myself get there. And I think that's where I've seen the switch is like, I'm like, you can wake up and choose to feel miserable every day, or you promised yourself that this year was going to be your best year ever. We're in March, like, honey, wake up, like, make those changes. And I think where I've managed to switch to a high vibration, we've got really exciting things coming with the podcast. Like, there are so many opportunities. And I think if you don't get yourself on those positive vibrations and a good mindset, you're going to miss things that are right in front of you. You're going to waste months and months and months. And like, do you know what? Someone who loves you so much, or you love so much, the right person would move a physical mountain for you. The right person wouldn't not be in your life right now. They'd be right there with you because that's what the right person would be doing. You wouldn't not be together. I just think, I don't know, I've just also stepping back, doing the work, doing the therapy. Like, let's just say I'm realising more and more now, I did put the man on a pedestal, and I'm not saying he's a bad person. He's not. He's just not the right person for me. And I'm understanding that so much more, and understanding I don't think I knew what my needs were before I went into the relationship. All I'd ever known was how to be a wife and how to be married and a mother. And I didn't know what I needed. And I just think I'm understanding what it is. And dare I say it? So I'm 2 months into it now. 2 months, broken up, haven't seen him. I'm excited about what is ahead of me. I'm excited about my future. And look, I know some people like sit there and they're like, do you know what? I don't mind if I don't meet a person. I don't mind if I'm on my own forever. Do you know what? I wouldn't mind. If I am on my own forever, I'll make it the best damn life ever. But for me, it is quite important. I do want to meet someone, and I will meet someone. Like, I absolutely will meet someone. And when I'm in the headspace where I feel like I've done so much work, that I've got all this self-worth and belief and confidence, I'm going to attract the most incredible man into my life. And I'm going to be like, this was why. This was why it happened. And there was a really interesting statement / question that I heard on this podcast. And I think anyone listening to this, going through a breakup, who's in the middle of a separation, a divorce, or whatever it is, I just want you to consider this, because this really made me think, and I just think it's pretty amazing. So let's put ourselves in the situation. You've gone through a breakup, you're feeling miserable. If you knew that the love of your life was literally around the corner, you were going to meet them in, say, 100 days, 150 days, what would you spend the rest of your time being single doing? Would you spend it moping around, pining after them, like ruminating, going round and round in circles, stalking your ex on social media? Or would you be out there filling your life doing fun things you might not get to do in a relationship, or growing into an amazing person so you can be the best version of yourself and show up in this relationship? Would you, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? I just thought it was a really interesting concept. It was to do with this man he'd written in, and he was like saying like he'd broken up with his ex, but like he was going to the gym so he could look better for her. And he was dating other women to make her jealous. And he was basically living his life for her without like, and she's like, you need to let her go. Like, what are you going to do? Like, live your life for someone else? No, like, she's gone. She's not coming back. What would you do if you knew in 100 days you were going to meet the love of your life? You wouldn't spend it doing that. So I just thought that was really interesting.
Something that I want to touch on, I think sort of maybe following on from, I feel like we've been quite reflective the last few weeks, especially with what you're going through. So I think I've sort of like sat there and like given my 2 pence about my relationship. And I think something that, it was a quote that we shared the other day, and it was like, stop romanticizing the bare fucking minimum. And I saw something the other day on TikTok that I wanted to touch on. I feel like we can probably delve quite deeply into, is not actually about relationships, but more about the difference between probably like mums and dads when it comes to co-parenting, or even when you're married. And I just feel like I'm actually guilty of doing this with my ex-husband when I was with him, because people always used to say to me, God, he's such a good dad. And I'd be like, yeah, I know, he's so hands-on. And I look back and I think, like, why was I praising my husband for being hands-on with his own children? So he fucking should be.
Wow.
I never got praise for being hands-on with my children because it's a given. And I just feel like far too many times we put these dads or men on pedestals for doing the bare minimum and showing up because they should. Like, oh my God, like, he's so amazing because he pays maintenance. Like, how lucky. You're so good because he doesn't let you down and counsel you. Like, he sees the kids when he's meant to. So he fucking should.
I feel like,
why are we praising these men for doing what they should be doing, and then we get absolutely fuck all for going above and beyond what we should be doing?
I feel like I literally like loved that my ex-boyfriend was such a good dad, because he spent quality time with his children. And like, I'm not taking away, he is a good dad, but isn't that what being a dad is? Like, it's so confusing. Yeah, it actually makes me angry, because I would love someone to stand there and be like, look at these women, like, they're doing more, they're paying more, they literally have very, very limited time to themselves to even fucking sit on a toilet, let alone like, I don't know, like we're praising these people who are showing up like every other weekend or once a week, that they're showing up, they're providing clothes and a roof over our kids' head. Like, why are we shouting about it? They are literally doing bare minimum, and it really irritates me. I had a situation this week. I'm not going to go into it. Something I've been asking for a long time. He did it. And now he's like, he thinks his dad of the year.
I know.
And it's really irritated me. And I put myself constantly in situations like, I'm not just talking financially, but I am the kind of person, I don't want my child to miss out on anything financially because of our situation at home. So like things like my eldest does love doing karate and it's not cheap. I had to buy the uniform. I have to pay the monthly term fees. I have to pay this thing so he could do his grading and stuff. And it adds up.
I had a situation. Do you know what? Actually, I don't care about sharing this bit, and then I'll share the other bit on Patreon because it's wild. But
It's wild.
Yeah, just I can't even. Like that is what I'm going to be thinking of when we go to the rage room tomorrow.
Good. Oh, it's a great week for us to get to the rage room, honestly. But it's stuff I can't share.
I can't remember what I shared on the main and what I think did I share it on Patreon about the whole football thing or the main?
I can't remember.
I can't remember either. But basically, cut a long story short, like I've got two boys, like one of which Blake plays football. He wasn't very good at it. He got very upset. He wanted to stop. I tried to encourage his dad, who, by the way, just to paint a picture, is a massive football fan. He's actually a qualified football coach and he was a semi-professional footballer, but he's never kicked a ball with his son. So I gave him a month. He didn't do anything with him. So I've now booked him one-on-one coaching, which he's loving. It's so lovely. And the weekend just gone, it was really sunny out, gorgeous weather. Ivy went to a party. So I thought, in my head, oh, like their dad is with just the boys. It would be so nice to hear that maybe he took them to the park or played football with them. What did he do? He left them with his parents and he went and played football. And it just like, I know that I shouldn't expect, I don't expect, I really, really don't. My expectations are very, very low, but other things happened that I'm not going to share on here because I don't want to get into the nitty gritty. But I think it's realising what is actually going above and beyond and what they can maybe be praised for, and then realising actually like you are just showing up. Like my friends used to think that he was such a hands-on good dad because he knew how to pack their bag for a day out and he'd be able to take all three kids or the twins at the time out for lunch. Like that's not being a good dad, that's being a dad. And I feel like too many times we are praising these men for doing things that they should be doing off their own back, not being pushed, not being forced, not, oh, I really need a day off from being a mum. Like, do you mind having them? And then when friends hear that your husband has your kids for the day, they're blowing smoke up their arse. But for what? For fucking having their children. Like, no, we've got to stop, like we said, romanticising the bare fucking minimum, because all it actually does is makes them probably feel like they're God's fucking gift.
I actually completely think this. Like,
it's frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah.
I didn't see it at the time.
I feel like this will change my perspective when I'm dating, like what I classify it. Not, like, I'm not downplaying it. Like, fair enough, you show up, like, you're pouring into your kids. I've got a lot of respect for people who, like, focus their attention on their kids when they're with them, that kind of thing. But that's still bare minimum. Yeah, it's great. But I think, do you know what? I think we live in a world where actually so many people aren't even hitting bare minimum pretty much anything in life, in their relationships, in their role as parents, mostly dads, come at me, genuinely believe that. And I think,
well, don't get me wrong, I don't want to take away any praise for things that are good. Like, you know, when we've done before, like bare minimum and green flag, like, don't get me wrong, there are some things that are green flags that are still bare minimum, but they are green flags. So, like, for example, like, we would both never date anyone that's not a good dad. It doesn't, and I'm not saying like, oh, well, that's bare minimum. Like, I don't know how to articulate it. Like, it is bare minimum, but that is still a green flag.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what I feel like it's more the other way round of being like, wow, they're a good dad.
Things like, yeah. And just as you were saying that, I was thinking, I was in the playground yesterday and one of the mums said to me, God, like I've had such a hard week. Like I think she had like strep something on her throat. She's been in bed like for 3 days. And she looked at me and she was like, I don't know how you do it on your own when you're unwell and you still pull it through. And I'm like, for me, that's not even being a good mum. That's just being a mum. You get up, you deal with it. And it seems like it's the same the other way around. Like, I'm not sat here saying like, I want all this praise for being a good mum. I know I'm a good mum and I do things that do make me quite an exceptional mum. But the things that we should be doing, like supporting our children with their interests and things like that, things like taking days off work when they're unwell, things like pulling through when you're unwell, that's just being a mum. It's not going above and beyond. I mean,
I think what it is it's funny where when we do certain things, it's just being a mum.
Yeah.
But when men do the exact same thing, they're an amazing dad.
Absolutely agree.
And I think that's what I sort of want to try and like separate is I'm all for like things are, wow, you're a good dad. Like I would never take that away from someone. I wouldn't be like, oh, well, so you should be.
Bare minimum.
Yeah, but
no, I agree.
I think it's just like, let's try and stay on a bit more of a level of like, oh,
if you're going to call him an amazing dad, call yourself an amazing mum.
Yeah,
like
we are fucking amazing.
We are. We don't get enough credit. And do you know what? I feel like women more celebrate each other. And I particularly noticed that online, like the amount of women daily you're getting told like you're an amazing mum, like your boys are so lucky. But we just, we need to take these men off these pedestals. It's again placing them on a pedestal because they are doing what we do every single day without complaining or making a song and dance about it and waiting for a medal.
It's literally like once a week. But also, you know, like when I shared a video of Blake with his coach and like the feedback, like the positive messages that I got from other mums and actually even some men being like, he's going to thank you for that one day. Like you really thought about the process in regards to like obviously him having like autism and ADHD and him being really upset and like trying to encourage him and not just like, I guess I just find it really weird how a parent can be so uninvolved by choice. Do you know? And I guess it's.
But it's like what we always say. Like it's like when we say we don't understand how someone could do.
We don't want to understand.
We don't want to understand why someone could be like that because we're not that way inclined as parents.
And we never will understand.
And we never will.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, should we get into an email?
What is wrong with us at the moment? We don't stop talking. Right. Head in the shed.
What, as in like a head or giving head?
Don't know. Shall I read?
Yes.
I am binge listening to your podcast as my friend sent it to me and it's helped me so much since my husband left in November 2024. I am only on episode 46 though. We were together for 12 years, married for 7. We have 2 children, 6 and 3. The 6-year-old is autistic, ADHD, and although at mainstream school, can be violent and unpredictable, although loving and sensitive. My husband walked out one Friday night, briefly telling me he had been unhappy for ages and he was staying with his dad for the foreseeable. Cheers, mate.
See ya.
Love that communication.
You've done it midweek. What are you doing on a weekend?
Have fun. He then picked up the children on the Monday and brought them home as I got in from work at 7 p.m. He left quickly and then I found a letter on the microwave ending our marriage.
Can you imagine she didn't find it? Because I never see anything in my house. Like the post is left for weeks. There's letters everywhere. There's drawings. Can you imagine if she never read the letter and he thinks like, I've left her a letter, so we're done. But like she never reads it. Just like, honey, what time are you home for dinner?
This was obviously heartbreaking, and I was left without a real answer as to why this ending was what was happening. Fast forward, I held it together, accepted his decision and knew there was no going back. I decided to focus on a positive co-parenting relationship, and this involved him coming over to support some evenings whilst I was at work. We even spent Christmas morning together and he had them overnight at the weekend. I had a gut feeling about an account that had been following him on Instagram. And as I knew I was becoming obsessed with thinking about it, I took myself off social media. I love this self-discipline. However, in January, I was with him doing finances and saw he received a message from this account. Later that evening, Curiosity got the better of me and I ended up logging into his Instagram account in the middle of the night. I found not a few, but hundreds of messages between him and this woman's business account. She is married and has a 1-year-old and 6-year-old. I know this as we have mutual friends. I think the messages started around 2 weeks after he left the marriage, although I could only see from December. These involved explicit videos and images that were being sent every day to one another.
Why on Instagram?
Ew.
That's weird. No, I guess it's like you can turn off notifications, so it's probably easier if she's married.
Right.
That's a guess. So.
Within the messages, they discussed me a lot, and my ex-husband had been saying things such as, I'm a money grabber, I am grumpy, he can't bear to be around me, and saying I would kill his erection.
Oh.
If she wore underwear, that would remind her of me.
Oh. Kill his erection if this new woman wore underwear that reminded him of his wife. Cool. Nice.
So disgustingly disrespectful. Oh, it was so disrespectful after I felt I remained so calm throughout the whole heartbreaking experience and still allowed him into my home.
That's what it is. Again, I don't understand these men they're the ones that do the wrong. They're the ones that cheat. And then they think that they have the audacity or the right to then behave in a way that is disrespectful to the mother of their children.
Hard relate.
Baffled.
Yeah. They also discussed how her husband had asked if she was seeing someone and she told him he was jealous and paranoid. They sound like a dream couple.
Yeah.
It gets worse. The most recent messages discuss how they met up. One time I had dropped the children off at 4 p.m. and by 5 p.m. she had sneaked around the back of his dad's house. He had left the children locked in the house by themselves and then she had sucked him off and he fingered her in the shed. Fuck, I would go batshit crazy.
Oh,
if I found out my kids were locked in the house while you were outside getting your dick sucked.
I have never in my life.
Oh, but he's looking after the kids, so let's say he's great dad.
Great dad.
They were.
Do you know what? He locked the door. They're safe.
Safe. Great dad. Great dad. Safety first. They were both laughing in the messages how my son had to get the key to let his dad back in. Hilarious, hon. Long story
Giving
short.
neglect. I'm sorry.
Giving RSPCC. RSPCC. Sorry, it's not funny. Long story short, he discovered I knew everything about this and then they accused her husband of being violent, saying she was scared if he found out to try and get me to keep quiet. I have left it and not said anything. However, I still believe they are continuing the affair and I feel angry that she is able to get away with this and there is no consequence for either of their behaviour.
I'll tell him.
The one thing it did do was knock my husband off the pedestal and help me realise what an ick he really is.
You know that? Have you seen that TikTok trend when it's like, and in a moment, it can all go. It's like when they come off the pedestal.
Yeah. I'm not really sure what I'm expecting from this, but it helps me feel better to air it to the best therapy around.
Aww.
Thanks so much. This podcast has meant more than you will ever know.
Honestly, I'm sure you know this already, but he's done you such a favour to move on quickly because, wow, all the best to them. They sound like they've got a really, really good foundation for a lovely, growing relationship. I would tell him, I would tell the husband.
It really irritates me when people who have a responsibility think about their penis first or their knee. Thing is, I think you get to a point where you have to separate out that you are just a much better human being than he is, and that's okay. You go on your journey, you become an incredible person. You sound like you are already, but you're going to become this even stronger, resilient human being. And he's just off. That actually makes me feel ill. He's in a shed getting his willy sucked. Imagine all the cobwebs in there, hon.
Are you 15?
Yeah, literally.
Honestly,
grow up.
It's a bedroom, but not even that. I just think I think she should have her consequences, and I think you should tell the husband.
I would tell the husband.
Do it.
Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
Break up after divorce. I feel like we're pros now.
Pro.
Bring it on.
I'm not as triggered anymore.
Hi both. Just recently found your page and it's really helped me. I was a single mum of 3 going through a divorce. I also recently split from someone who I was dating for months and I really thought we had a connection which would go somewhere. He even met my kids and wanted to know what my expectations were with him. We had a really good connection and had so much fun together, and he made me feel so comfortable, and I really wanted it to work. Then he said that as our attraction and us getting close was mostly based on our emotional and mental connection, he thinks he needs to feel secure in a relationship with someone who has that physical, intense attraction with from the beginning. We obviously did have that attraction from the beginning, but it got more intense as we knew each other, which I think is good. Now he thinks it isn't a good foundation for us, and it's affecting his self-worth. I don't understand. Obviously, I don't want him to feel like that, but I just believe how our feelings now are surely more important than what they were at the beginning. But then I think I know deep down that some things weren't right. Like, he never had a serious relationship before. He caused silly arguments and then would get angry and also focus everything on physical attraction and sex. Like, every time we would be out or watch something, he would comment on people that he thought I would fancy. He then would always think I was messaging other people and would make comments that did upset me. He did have past issues from childhood, so it's all stemmed from that. I would always reassure him, but it was never enough for him. I just want some advice on how to get over the first breakup after divorce. I just feel like another hit and that I'll never meet anyone. Like I said, I think deep down I knew he wasn't right for me, as I don't want to be walking on eggshells in a relationship, but at the same time I really wanted it to work. I really cared for him. Is this normal to feel like another failure after another relationship hasn't worked?
Completely understand how you're feeling. Like, I think that's one thing that I was sad about, was wanting my first relationship to work, and like obviously like I'd introduced the kids and stuff like that, and you feel like and now it's not working, and like the issues were there, and like you said, like some of the stuff you said I think are really big things, like really big things, and I think that's what you need to focus on. I would physically write those things down, so when you do have those moments of doubt, you can look back and remind yourself of why he's not your person. I would 100% be going no contact with this man. 100%. He's not your person. And I think by the sounds of it, like, I've had those thoughts, like, what if I don't meet anyone again? All that kind of thing. It's time to work on yourself, because I think when you start doing that work, you realise your self-worth. You'll start loving yourself, and you'll realise, do you know what? Someone would be lucky to be with you and take on your kids and, you know, all those qualities you have. And you shouldn't be with someone who feels insecure about everything, or I can't remember what it was she said. Like the thing about the attraction, that the way I'm understanding it is he's basically implying he's not as attracted to you now as he was at the start. And for me, like, that would really damage myself.
I think it's the other way around. And she's like, why does it matter what things were like at the beginning? It should be about what we feel like now. I don't 100% get it. But what I am picking up from that is that, like, he had a lot of issues that he obviously didn't want to deal with. And I actually think that it's good that you're not with him anymore.
And you said,
happy or not.
Yeah, you said he's got loads of past issues from childhood. For me, if he's not actively doing something to try and heal from those things, and things from childhood or adulthood or from parts of our life that we don't heal and we don't work on,
it's going to impact your relationship.
It's going to come up in the form of different issues as you go on. And look, I've only realised that from being in them. And if you don't address them, you're going to repeat the same patterns again and again. You're not going to go into a new relationship and suddenly be able to give this person everything. They'll be there. Yeah, it might be sugar-coated to begin with. It might be all about great sex to begin with. And then you'll move on to someone else and you'll realise, oh, wait, I'm still lacking self-worth, or whatever it is he said. So
I'll go and buy our journal.
It's very,
I think it will happen.
Yeah, it's a very much a him problem. Like, I think both Tash and I picked out from that, like, he's definitely not your person. You do need to do the hard part. Acceptance. Hit that acceptance. He's not my person. Keep telling yourself that. He's not my person, but I'm going to be okay. Get our journal, 100% it will help you. I promise you, go no contact. I cannot tell you how, like, I'm over 4 weeks no contact. I'm 4.5 weeks no contact. There's not a single part of me that will reach out to him now. I've done so much work that I know where I'm at in terms of so far forwards that I actually feel like I've outgrown who he was, unless he's gone away.
You know what? I also think for anyone listening that is going through a breakup and they had the option to go no contact if you don't have kids with them, I think mine and Kylie's experience is a prime example of how quickly she's moving forward and how quickly I did. And mine was, I'll hold my hand up, like, I didn't stick to no contact very well, and neither did he. And it was a much slower process. And I got there in the end, but I would have got there quicker had I been stronger.
It's like what I said at the beginning, it triggers something inside you. It's an actual chemical. It's to do with your nervous system. Like, it's an actual scientific thing. It triggers the same feelings from being addicted to something. It triggers the same chemicals in there and into your brain.
And then you're chasing and craving, and
it just makes it harder for you to start living your life without that person. You're taking steps backwards. Like, you do have, like, people keep saying to me, God, you're so strong. I'm no different to anyone else. I wasn't built of some magic stuff. I'm taking accountability and taking responsibility. I'm not wasting my life pining after someone who is not my person, and you shouldn't either. Okay.
Confession of the week. Guys, make sure you keep sending in your confessions of the week. If you're on Patreon, we've got a group chat for it.
That's episode 10.
And if not, email it in with a title saying confession of the week.
During the awful time when we were still living together but not together, instead of picking up his clothes that he left all over the place like I usually did, this is what I did. One evening, I used the jeans he chucked on the dinner table after dinner. Ew.
What? Why are you taking your trousers downstairs?
To clean the table after the kids' dinner. Ketchup, beans, spilt juice. And I carefully placed them back in the chuck position, knowing that he would leave them there all night. As expected, he did. I knew he was going to wear them to work. He would wear the same pair for weeks. It's giving unhygienic.
It's giving dirt. It's giving smelly.
It's giving disease. And never noticed how grubby or smelly they would get. I mean, that's an ick, isn't it? We did our own washing. Well, his mum did his sometimes, but that's another story.
Oh God.
I listened carefully from my bedroom as he rushed around and left for work. He left and drove off wearing those jeans. 5 minutes later, he's back, gets changed, and off he goes again. That evening, I asked him why he came back, and he said he spilt coffee on himself in the car and needed to get changed. Oh, these men.
Oh my God, that's brilliant. Right. Should we go with an affirmation?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going with our quote. Stop romanticizing the bare fucking minimum.
Yeah.
I said it. Do it.
We're all guilty of it.
Yeah. Love you guys.
Love you.
See you next week.
Love you. Bye.